सबका यहाँ बहुत बहुत स्वागत है और आप सबको यहाँ पर देखकर बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. Can I have a round of applause for everyone? सुबह सुबह बहुत ट्रैफिक होता है दिल्ली में, तो you all have made it in time. So thank you so much for that. Well, this is not just another gathering. This room is filled with visionaries, with change makers, coming together to transform Indian agriculture from a tradition-bound sector to a technology-driven, sustainable, and prosperous powerhouse. To rewrite the story of Indian farmer, the very heart of Viksit Bharat. It's my honor to invite our dignitaries to kindly walk towards the stage and start this beautiful day and these meaningful discussions herewith with the lighting of the lamp. I would like to invite Dr. Rajiv Singh, Director General, Indian Chamber of Commerce, to kindly come near the lamp. Can I have a round of applause for Dr. Rajiv Singh, please? I would now like to invite Mr. Shrikant Goenka, Chairman, ICC Agribusiness and Food Processing Committee and Managing Director, Premier Irrigation Technologies Private Limited. Can I have a round of applause for Mr. Shrikant Goenka, please? Thank you. It's my honor to invite Major Vishal Bakshi, Co-Chair, Northern Region, Indian Chamber of Commerce, to kindly come near the lamp, please. Thank you so much. Can we have like a good round? Clapping is always good. It's good for our health also. It's my honor to invite Mr. Kapil Meena, IAS, Managing Director, National Horticulture Board. Thank you so much. And it's my real honor to invite our chief guest, Professor S. Mahendra Dev, Chairman, Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister. Can I have a huge round of applause for everybody, for our dignitaries, for our guests? Thank you so much. Sir, let's start this day, beautiful day with the lightning. Thank you so much. Can we have a beautiful music, please? Thank you. Please come on the stage, all the dignitaries. I would request the dignitaries to kindly be seated. Thank you so much again, आप सबका यहाँ पे आने के लिए. I would now like to invite Dr. Rajiv Singh, Director General, Indian Chamber of Commerce, for his words of wisdom and introduction as we start our discussions on Viksit Krishi for Viksit Bharat. Everyone, Dr. Rajiv Singh. Thank you so much.
Good morning. I think rather than words of wisdom, let me offer words of welcome, because the wisdom you will get from our experts, and especially the chairman, Mr. Dev, and Mr. Meena, of course, our industry champions who do things on ground and who have invaluable experience. I think you will definitely learn a lot and enjoy their interventions. We are truly honored to have our honorable guest, Professor S. Mahendra Dev, who is the chairman of the Economic Advisory Council to Honorable Prime Minister. Shri Dev has extensive experience in the space of agriculture, with his wealth of knowledge, experience, and the tremendous work which he has done in different roles which he has played in the space. I think it's truly an honor to have you with us, and I'm sure there will be plenty of takeaways for all of us. We are equally honored to have Mr. Kapil Meena, IAS, Managing Director of National Horticulture Board, which is an important government organization which works with farmers and especially in the horticulture space. And they're also doing tremendous work in the interest of farmers, processors, and overall for the country and the economy. I would also like to welcome the speakers who are here in the audience and who will be addressing us. We have very interesting panels coming up, and I'm sure we all will benefit. I will only say that in a country like ours, where 2/3 of the population still depends on agriculture, we often speak of wastage at the farm level, also when the crops move from farm to the markets. We always speak of infrastructure gaps. Of course, government is trying to plug, but the sector is so vast and the needs are so diverse, and agriculture being a concurrent subject, I mean, it is dealt by the central government. At the same time, states do have important role to play. So with the diversity which India has in terms of states, soil types, the ecology, markets, consumption patterns, like what crop really works for North, I think East would need something else. And the value addition, processing. So all these, we have been speaking of what really needs to be done. But today what is transforming this space is the technology and the access to information. All the digital platforms, all the technologies, if agriculture sector can adopt, can use, I think it will transform. With the 9 FTAs with more than 32 countries, which India has recently signed, is also going to transform the agri exports, and that will ultimately benefit the growers and the economy overall. I think there is also a need to make agriculture sector maybe more acceptable to what we call Gen Z. If they also find it attractive enough to go to the farms, use the latest technologies, use the schemes, because practically today government subsidizes almost half of the project cost. And food is such a thing that the demand will always stay. And globally, with the way world politics is going, I think every country is looking at India to import and to diversify their supply chains. So with all these, I'm sure we will hear our experts, and there will be plenty of takeaways, and that is how we as a community of growers, FPOs, companies, we all grow. And of course, partnering with government. So before I end, I would also like to warmly welcome our farmers friends who have traveled from northeast and southern part of India. आप सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rajiv Singh. I would again ask everybody to give him a round of applause, please. Yes, thank you. I would now like to request Mr. Shrikant Goenka, Chairman, ICC Agribusiness and Food Processing Committee and Managing Director, Premier Irrigation Technologies Private Limited, to kindly give his welcome address to all of us. Mr. Shrikant Goenka, please. Thank you, sir. Nice to see you.
Good morning, respected guest of honor, Professor Mahendra Devji, Chairman, Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister, eminent speakers, industry leaders, and friends from agriculture, food ecosystem, and the media. It is my great privilege to welcome all of you to the second edition of Krishi Vikram. This platform has been created with a clear purpose to bring industry together, innovation, technology, research, and enterprise in the service of a stronger agricultural future for India. This year, our theme, Viksit Krishi for Viksit Bharat, captures both the spirit and the responsibility of this gathering. We are meeting at a time when agriculture stands at a very important threshold. The expectations from the sector are no longer limited to food production alone. Today, agriculture must deliver much more. It must ensure food and nutritional security, improve farmer incomes, conserve water, respond to climate stress, adopt technology at scale, and become globally competitive. In other words, agriculture must become not only productive, but resilient, efficient, and future-ready. The Honorable Prime Minister has repeatedly underlined this national priority. In one of his recent remarks, he said, "This Viksit Krishi Sankalp Abhiyan resolves to make Indian agriculture the mainstay of Viksit Bharat." He also said, India must not only fulfill its own needs, but also emerge as a global food supplier. These are very powerful words, and they are also a roadmap. They remind us that agriculture is not a peripheral sector. It is central to India's development story, to rural prosperity, and to national strength. That is exactly why a forum like Krishi Vikram matters. It brings together the people who shape policy, create technology, invest in innovation, build institutions, and work directly with farmers. The future of agriculture will not be built in silos. It will be built through collaboration between government and industry, between researchers and practitioners, and between entrepreneurs and farmers. I would like to thank all our distinguished speakers for joining us today and lending their time, expertise, and encouragement to this important platform. I also want to acknowledge the Indian Chamber of Commerce and all our partners for making this event possible and for continuing to create a platform where ideas can be translated into action. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shrikant Goenka. It's always a pleasure to listen to you. I would now like to request Major Vishal Bakshi, Co-Chair, Northern Region, Indian Chamber of Commerce, to kindly give his theme address. Round of applause for Mr. Major Vishal Bakshi, please.
जी a very good morning to all of you और मैं आप सभी का आज यहाँ कृषि विक्रम 2026 पे स्वागत करता हूँ और thank you very much to the honorable chief guest for sparing his time. आज हम यहाँ क्यों इकट्ठा हुए हैं? आईसीसी द्वारा ये जो मीटिंग हमने इकट्ठी की है हमारे किसान भाइयों को उनके परिवारों को एक विजन एक मार्ग दिखाने का है कि हमारा देश जो कि जाना गया है पूरे विश्व में उसकी एग्रीकल्चरल ग्रोथ हिंदुस्तान से जो एक्सपोर्ट हो रहा है और होता आया है चाहे वो वीट हो राइस हो हमारे महाराष्ट्र के मैंगोज हो आज हमारा देश माना गया है इन क्वालिटी ऑफ गुड फूड प्रोडक्ट्स वो तो ही हो पाता है जब हमारा किसान पूरी तरह से सक्षम हो We today need to understand the need what our farmers need and as a provider the government is doing their best to provide them every possible facility in terms of technology in terms of incentives in terms of support. As a country, we are very diversified. Every state, every city has a different climatic condition, different soil condition, different challenges. The idea is to meet those challenges, to meet their expectations, and to bring out the best out of them. Technology is changing the world. आने वाले समय में AI हर क्षेत्र में बहुत ज्यादा उन्नति कर रहा है और बहुत तेजी से बढ़ रहा है हम ये चाहते हैं कि किस तरह से हम अपने किसान भाइयों को ये मार्ग दिखा सकें कि वो अपने को और अपने आने वाली पीढ़ी को अपने ही प्रोफेशन में आगे बढ़ाएं अधिकतर पाया गया है कि आज का किसान नहीं चाहता कि उसके जो बच्चे बढ़ रहे हैं वो वापस उनकी फील्ड में आए The whole idea is to make them, encourage them in supporting what is required is for a beautiful future in growing the crops. The government of India today has biggest drives like Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, soil health cards, fertilizer subsidies, Kisan credit card scheme, custom hiring centers, and Pradhan Mantri's Mastya Kisan Samriddhi Yojana. PM's Kisan Minimum Support Prices Yojana and Madham Yojana, which all continues to provide stability and confidence to millions of farmers and their farming families. India, as a country, is today contributing to the maximum of 70,000 crores annually agriculture economy. And it is estimated that the optimization can help farmers save a lot of money every year, provided they adopt the AI information technology to its fullest. Today, at 70% of India's population is below the age of 40. Digital communication, multi-language content, AI-powered language technologies and digital learning platforms over unprecedented opportunities to accelerate knowledge, dissemination, and encourage greater participation of younger entrepreneurs in agriculture. We at ICC Chamber of Commerce today feel that it's time for all of us to integrate and bring forward a system which promotes our farmers, their needs, with the entrepreneurs, companies engaging, supporting them, and ensuring them for a proper crop and production. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Major Vishal Bakshi. A huge round of applause for Major Vishal Bakshi, please. I would now like to invite Mr. Kapil Meena, IAS Managing Director, National Horticulture Board, to kindly give his special address to all of us. Thank you so much.
Good morning to all of you, and I'm very happy to be part of this important event being organized by Indian Chamber of Commerce, and very happy to be sharing the stage with Professor Mahendra Dev sir, who is chairman of the PM's Economic Advisory Council. We are discussing about agriculture, which is, we all know, a very important sector of the country. We still have almost half of our Indian population, which is dependent on agriculture. And so this is a sector which needs priority, which is getting the priority, and we cannot ignore this important sector. So I'd like to talk something about the horticulture sector particularly. I joined as Managing Director of the National Horticulture Board around 3 months back. Basically, I am also an agriculture graduate, so that ways it is coming back to the field of agriculture again. And we all know, we have seen recently, at least in last decade or so, that horticulture sector is emerging very prominently, and there is a significant growth in terms of our horticulture production. If you see, last year the horticulture production overtook the food grain production in the country. So that is one big change which has happened, that more than food grains, now the farmers are interested in growing horticulture crops, because we have seen horticulture crops, horticulture production gives much better returns to the farmers. And this is the way forward, because if we want to increase our exports, we have to focus on the horticulture sector. So from an area which is much smaller than the food grain crops, from an area of around 30.16 million hectare in the country, which is in horticulture, we had a production of around 370.74 million tons last year, which was more than the food grain production. And the growth is almost 5 to 6% in the production in recent years, so which is again a very good, we can say, change. We all know horticulture offers much higher returns per unit of land, per unit of area compared to the food grain crops, and there is significant opportunities in the country for value addition, for processing, for post-harvest management, for branding, for exports, as well as for employment generation in terms of the horticulture sector. And then we are saying that agriculture is going to play a very important role in terms of achieving the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. So we need Viksit Krishi or Viksit Agriculture, and horticulture is going to play a very important role in this. If you see, in terms of Government of India's approach towards development of horticulture, we have a mission for integrated development of horticulture, MIDH, which is, we can say, the umbrella scheme which covers all the horticulture interventions which the government supports, and it covers pre-production activities, production activities, it includes productivity enhancement, it includes quality planting material, it includes various kinds of protected cultivation practices, it includes post-harvest management, marketing infrastructure, branding, and also the technology adoption. So all these interventions are supported through the mission for integrated development of horticulture. And under the mission for integrated development of horticulture, we have a autonomous body called as National Horticulture Board, in which I am presently working, comes under the Ministry of Agriculture, but an autonomous body which is there to implement various interventions in terms of promoting commercial horticulture in the country. So you can see there is a difference if you see the various schemes which are run by the state government on horticulture, or if you see the other components of MIDH, they focus on all kinds of farmers, but National Horticulture Board, in terms of its support, is given to majorly commercial horticulture practices. So the farmer should have a minimum area, which is in different schemes it is different, but it is not for very small farmers. It is for medium or bigger farmers who can invest, who have some capital, and of course they are given the subsidy support from NHB. So the subsidy support which is given to individual farmers from NHB varies from 35% to up to 50% in various schemes. National Horticulture Board supports the farmers directly. So it is not through the state government. If the farmers are doing horticulture, if they are eligible under the schemes, they can directly apply to the National Horticulture Board. There is an online process for it, and through various approvals, verifications and everything, it is a credit linked back-ended subsidy. So that is the model. So we need to, the farmer needs to have a bank loan. They have to take a bank loan, that is compulsory, and the subsidy is back-ended. So subsidy is given at the end of the project when they successfully implement that particular project. So these interventions are in terms of, the first thing is open field cultivation. So if a farmer wants to develop horticulture or a fruit crop orchard, that is open field cultivation, that is also supported through the scheme. Then we have protected cultivation, which includes cultivation through polyhouses, greenhouses, shade net houses, and these components, that is supported. Then you also have subsidy support for cold storage development, which is the minimum capacity has to be 5,000 metric ton, and it can be as much as 20,000 metric ton. So big cold stores, they are also supported through NHB. Around 35% subsidy is given in that, and even refrigerated vans and transportation facilities are also supported through the National Horticulture Board. So I just wanted to give you an idea that we are directly supporting the farmers. So through this platform, we will request all the horticulture farmers, they can go through the NHB guidelines, they can apply for these schemes, and they can benefit from these interventions which we are making. Again, another important program which the National Horticulture Board is implementing on behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture, which will interest the Chamber of Commerce as well as the industry players, is a very unique program, which is a PPP kind of a model. We call it as Cluster Development Program. So this Cluster Development Program intends to develop, we have target of 100 clusters in the country. So we are trying to develop large scale area which is focused on one focus crop, and those clusters of at least 5,000 hectares, 10,000 hectare areas, so bigger areas we are trying to develop under this. So this is a PPP model wherein again there is a subsidy support, and there is this is a partnership between the government and the private sector. So the implementing agencies, they can be private companies, they can be agri-based organizations, they can be government organizations, they can be cooperatives, they can be FPOs, they can be joint venture of various organizations or companies. So various kind of collaborations can be there, and they, if they are selected as an implementing agency for a particular area, then the support is given for farmers components as well as for the implementing agency component. So the idea is that you will develop a particular area, you will have a contract with the farmers. So the farmers will do certain pre-production and production related activities, which it will be defined in the DPR of the project, and there will be certain post-harvest and value addition and processing facilities which will be developed by the implementing agency. So the idea is that there is a partnership between farmers and the private sector, and then this program intends to increase our exports. So we want that most of the commodities which are produced in these clusters, not everything, but substantially the production should go for exports. So there are two different kind of clusters which we are promoting under this particular program. One is multi-commodity high-value clusters, which focuses on different important horticulture crops. And for this, we allow for maximum of 3 districts, contiguous districts, wherever the cluster is there, there cannot be more than 3 districts. And this is focused on fruit crops majorly. Second one, which is again very interesting, is peri-urban vegetable cluster. So this is intended to develop vegetable production areas near the urban centers. So any town, any city with a population of more than 15 lakhs as per the previous 2011 census is allowed in this particular cluster. And the target for this is not exports. The target for this is how we can ensure a year-round supply of quality vegetables to that particular urban center. So we do a demand assessment. So if suppose it is Delhi and somebody wants to develop a cluster in the vicinity of Delhi, then what is the total demand of vegetables in the city? That has to be calculated, and the production has to cater to that demand. So this has, this is also to control the price volatility which we face every year in terms of our vegetable prices, as well as to reduce the post-harvest losses. And this peri-urban vegetable cluster has to be within 100-kilometer radius of that particular urban center. So these are the two different kind of clusters in which we are inviting all the important agri-related companies, various organizations to participate in this. We already have around 15 clusters which are onboarded already, and we are in process of onboarding more clusters. So this is one thing in which I'll request the industry to see, and you can be a part of this particular program. Again, FPOs, as we were discussing, FPOs are also allowed in various schemes and assistance which is given by the NHB. And we are also wanting that more and more FPOs should come and participate in these kind of schemes, because again the issue which we face in agriculture or in horticulture is of aggregation. So our individual farmers are having smaller productions. If we come together as an FPO, as a cooperative, or as a joint group, then we always have more benefits, and we have the economies of scale which we can achieve. So overall, if you see, the horticulture sector is growing very fast, and in terms of the government investment in the horticulture sector is also growing very fast. And I feel that in terms of, there are so many new crops which farmers are now taking. In NHB, we come across examples of small farmers doing protected cultivation, growing vegetables, or various other crops, majorly vegetables. They are even getting benefits up to 20, 25, 30 lakhs in a year profit they are earning. So I feel that horticulture sector is very important, and this is the way forward for taking Indian agriculture forward. I once again thank all of you for inviting me to this important event, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kapil Meena. Those were indeed a lot of facts and words of wisdom. So thank you for that. I would now like to request our chief guest, Professor S. Mahendra Dev, Chairman, Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister, to kindly give his special address. Taliyan, please.
All the dignitaries on the dais, my dear farmers and other participants, very good morning to all of you. So let me first thank the Indian Chamber of Commerce for inviting me to this function. Also compliment them, for organizing the Krishi Vikram. and honoring excellence in various fields of agriculture and agribusiness. The themes to be discussed, like agri strategies for Viksit Bharat, food processing, agriculture 4.0, digital farming, and climate resilient farming, are all in the right direction. On this occasion, I will say a few words on 4 aspects. One is agriculture reforms and policies. The second is technology, including digital technology. Third, what are the institutional aspects for agriculture and other, marketing, etc. And fourth is the agro processing, which is important from value added and employment point of view. So before going to these topics, I will say a few words on the progress of Indian agriculture. We all know that India achieved significant progress in agriculture production since the Green Revolution, transforming itself from a food deficit nation into one of the world's largest producers of food grains, fruits, vegetables, milk, and fisheries. The shares of horticulture, livestock, and fisheries have increased significantly, while the share of crop sector declined. Agriculture growth is important, as it has a share of about 17% of GDP and 43% in employment. In fact, the purchasing power of this nearly 50% of the population is important as it creates demand for non-agriculture products like manufacturing and services. So it is not only the agriculture growth, but its importance to manufacturing services is also important. So regarding overall approach to agriculture, the present government is focusing on increasing farmers' incomes instead of the only production approach. In fact, the Honorable Prime Minister gives a lot of importance to agriculture and farmers' incomes. So we have to shift focus from production approach and move towards income-centric approach. So among others, 4 factors are important. First, diversification in crop sector and focus on high-value crops, livestock and fisheries, then rice and wheat to get higher incomes. Second, focus on post-harvest and marketing. Third, food and agro-processing is important for higher incomes and employment. Fourth is that we have small and marginal farmers, 86%. So they need help in input and output marketing. So we need institutions like FPOs and other cooperatives to help the small farmers in getting better incomes. So we have to keep in mind also the aspirations of the Gen Z, as mentioned earlier, because they want more, using technology and other things in agriculture. So the average growth of Indian agriculture has been close to 4.5% over the last decade or so, among the highest we have ever recorded, probably the highest among the large economies of the world. So the available evidence suggests that farmers' income is also increased significantly in recent years with the diversification. I mean, there are some issues on farmers' incomes, but in general, it has increased. Farmers have to depend both on agriculture and non-agriculture, for their incomes. Because if you see the situation assessment surveys and NABARD surveys, they show that farmers and rural households get substantial income from rural non-agriculture also. Because apart from agriculture income, they get some other employment, and also services also sometimes they participate. So therefore they have to depend both on agriculture and non-agriculture. So we have to look at agriculture, manufacturing, services in rural areas together. So now coming to the 4 topics I mentioned, reforms in policy, technology, institutions, and agro-processing. First, on reforms. Global challenges and external factors like geopolitical situation, like the present West Asian crisis, protection of tariffs and trade policies, and AI-type technology disruptions and climate change. And of course, this year we also have El Nino factor. So they all affect Indian agriculture. So the policies in agriculture have to keep in mind these global challenges. Similarly, generally on agriculture, we refer mainly to agriculture sector policies. But the macroeconomic policy is also important, like monetary policy, trade policy, fiscal policy, and reforms like ease of doing business and ease of living are equally important for agriculture and farm population. So we shouldn't look at only agriculture sector policies, but also overall macro policies also on agriculture and agribusiness. Coming to agriculture reforms, we all know that green revolution approach has led to waterlogging, soil erosion, and groundwater depletion, leading to unsustainability of agriculture. So we have to change the mindset of 1960s on policies and institutions. In the 1960s, we had Agriculture Prices Commission, Food Corporation of India, APMCs were established. In fact, if you look at the economic reforms of 1991, they did not touch agriculture for reforms. They only did on industry and services and other banking and other trade and other things. So agriculture reforms, particularly market reforms, are important for farmers getting higher prices. Here states can play an important role in market reforms, as agriculture is a state subject in general, some are in the concurrent also. But farmers have to get better incomes for to shift. We're talking about diversification, but still, if you look at the rate of return, we say that they should shift from rice and wheat to millets, oilseeds, pulses. But the rate of return, if I ask the farmer, they say still rice and wheat the rate of return is higher. For example, if you look at this CICP data, Agriculture Price Commission data, the overall output minus the cost, we say A2 cost plus farm labor. For rice, it is about 30,000 per hectare. But for jowar, it is 9,000. For ragi, it's almost negative or so. Only maize competes with rice, about 30,000 or so. So unless we increase the rate of return, farmers won't shift to oil seeds, pulses, and other things. On trade policy, we need to transition to export-led growth in agriculture. And here, India is exceptionally well placed because the heightened importance of food production in a more uncertain world, together with our vast diversity of agroclimatic conditions. Because why many people want to come to India? Because we have huge market. So the agriculture, non-agriculture. So that's why they want to have trade with us. And as we are having more FTAs, we can push assertively for market access of our farm products. Similarly, we have to tackle the non-tariff barriers, like sanitary, phytosanitary, and technical measures that increasingly decide, for example, European has many standards. So we have to see how to, keep it that standards for exports. The second issue is technology and the enabling policies for its adoption. On biotechnology and increasing yields, India is adopting gene editing technology, then promoting GM crops. We all know that gene editing also gives a lot of increase in yields, and also increase in R&D expenditure in agriculture is important. from government point of view or private sector point of view, because R&D gives the highest returns than any other investments. Coming to digital technologies, here the last decade has delivered real structural change. Digital public infrastructure is shortening value chains and putting evidence-based advice in farmers' hands. And it also encourages the youth to come to farming. And the drones, mobile applications, and data-driven advisories are reaching the field. You all know Drone BB initiative, training women-led self-help groups and service providers is one example. Even I can't operate these drones, but with the women with the 2 weeks of training, they operate in fertilizer and everything, and it's a remarkable change. And also the frontier tools in biotechnology, sensors, and space applications hold immense promise. And data on agri stack and satellite data can be used to reduce fertilizer consumption, because we have now plot level data at the level. So who is using the higher fertilizer consumption and who is using the lower, so we can check that. All over the world, AI is being used in agriculture. Among others, AI can be used for increase in supply as well as demand forecasting. Similarly, even the blockchain technology-based system are particularly useful for high-value crops and exports. Of course, the technology, the last mile spread of technology is important, because we have to reach to all sections of the society on technology. The third issue is institutional reform. And here, some opportunities to strengthen farmer incomes lie. The most powerful lever for small and marginal farmers is collective strength in the marketplace and aggregate delivery, exactly that, because small and marginal farms have small produce, so somebody is there to aggregate them. So, and also it may be noted that the role of women in agriculture is increasing, because some men are migrating, and so we have to have policies also suitable to the women farmers. So farmer producer organizations, cooperatives, primary agriculture credit societies, and self-help groups give small producers access to inputs, technology, and market linkages at scale. When some of the FPOs are doing very well, but some have to improve their efficiency, all over India. So it enables them to move confidently from staples towards high-value crops, horticulture, dairy, fisheries, and livestock. And the cooperative sector, with over 8 lakh cooperatives and more than 30 crore members, is one of the largest people-led movements in the world. So the national cooperative policies and White Revolution 2.0 aim to professionalize it, to move up the value chain and triple its contribution to the economy. So now the government is thinking of how to increase the cooperative value added to 3 times, so that GDP can increase further. Now I come to the last one, the agro-processing. Because agro-processing provides viable development pathway to rural industrialization by integrating agriculture with manufacturing, improving income distribution, and creating employment opportunities beyond the farm sector in rural areas, with a strong focus on MSMEs and producer manufacturing cooperatives, self-help groups, FPOs. It is well aligned with India's policy objectives. And the reduction of post-harvest losses and stabilization of agriculture supply can help mitigate food-related inflationary pressures. High-quality agro-processing products, drawing on India's traditional knowledge system and agroclimatic uniqueness, exist strong export potential and can aid in balancing India's trade imbalances. So we have to draw labor into flourishing agri value chain of aggregation, storage, grading, logistics, and rural agro-processing. This is complemented by vibrant labor-intensive rural MSMEs and services. At the same time, like the cluster-based horticulture was mentioned, we need cluster-based agro-processing because this is the best bet for scaling up, achieving economies of scale and other knowledge spillovers. So export strategy can also be two-pronged. So one is the smaller artisanal clusters should focus on a value-based export approach. The second one is where large, more efficient clusters can focus on a volume-based competitive approach. So the value-based strategy focuses on the distinctive local or regional traits of production, such as geographical indication, GI tagging, traditional craftsmanship, organic production, and high quality. A key challenge will be ensuring that such clusters consistently maintain high quality standards. So, for example, the sanitary, phytosanitary, and to optimize resource use, mobile laboratories can be deployed within a state, and shared facilities such as irradiation units for SPS compliance, etc. Finally, given that agriculture is a state subject and also lots of variations across states, we need state-specific approach apart from the center-state coordination. So we need forums where the union and states can build consensus. A food systems approach spanning production, processing, distribution, and consumption demands exactly the cross-ministerial and center-state convergence is needed. In fact, even among agriculture, irrigation, several sectors, sometimes we live in silos. So there is a need to convergence across ministries to get better results, better value added, better employment. Because of time constraints, I am not discussing here much of sustainability and climate resilience. On climate change, India's goal is to have net zero emissions by 2070. In fact, agriculture is a problem for climate change and also a solution for climate change. The center-state cooperation is also required for climate resilience. Along with chemical fertilizer-based agriculture, we have to simultaneously raise organic and natural farming. More focus on bioeconomy is needed. So from an inclusive growth perspective, none of it will succeed without strengthening women's rights over land, water, and credit. Because their full participation is itself is a source of better governance and more resilient food systems, because they are participating both in agriculture and also agro-processing. So to conclude, the narrative of Indian agriculture has to be changed in the new context. Similar to Viksit Bharat goals, agriculture development has 3 goals. One is achieving higher growth in agriculture and raise farmers' income, increase productivity, and structural transformation from agri to rural non-farm processing, etc. Second goal is the equitable or inclusive growth, because to focus on small and marginal farmers, lagging regions, women, and also including youth. On lagging regions, focus has to be on Eastern India now, because where some of the things are lagging there, and other rain-fed areas. Third goal is to achieve the above 2 goals by following sustainable and climate resilient practices. So the reforms in policies, technology, and institutions can achieve the above goals and enhance farmers' incomes. In achieving these goals, we have to keep in the aspirations of the youth. So to end, ultimately we have to shift workers in agriculture to non-agriculture, because 43% of employment and 17% of GDP, we can't go on forever. So we have to shift some of them, but at the same time, we have to increase the productivity, farm income of agriculture. So as someone said, the solution for agriculture lies in both agriculture and non-agriculture. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor S. Mahendrath. Can I have a huge round of applause, please? Thank you. Now I think हम लोग बहुत मेहनत करते हैं और जब हमें अवार्ड्स मिलते हैं तो हमें बहुत अच्छा लगता है और अब this is I think सबका favorite part है award ceremony. So now we are going to start our felicitation award ceremony and for this sir I would again like to invite you but आप please पहले हमसे पानी पी लीजिए. Distinguished dignitaries and esteemed guests, welcome to today's felicitation ceremony. We gather to formally recognize a group of organizations and leaders for the established profiles of excellence in the agricultural and food sectors. मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगी ये excellence award है. This is कृषि विक्रम excellence award जो उन लोगों को दिया जाता है जिन्होंने अपनी फील्ड में बहुत अच्छा काम किया है, excellent काम किया है. तो it's like and हम वो लोग हमारे बीच में अभी बैठे हैं. तो with great happiness I would like to start this ceremony. I respectfully invite our chief guest, Professor S. Mahendrath, to present our first set of recognition of Krishi Vikram Excellence Award. जैसे जैसे मैं ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का नाम लूंगी, I request कि उनके representatives please stage पर आकर अपना अवार्ड लेकर जाएं. Thank you so much, sir. Can you please? We have the photographers ready. Thank you so much. So in the first category, मैं बुलाना चाहूंगी. I would like to invite Rapuliani Women Farmer Producer Company Limited to be recognized for their outstanding profile as women-led collective. A huge round of applause for Rapuliani Women Farmer Producer Company.
Yes, please come, please come.
आप प्लीज हमें बताइएगा अभी आपने इतनी अमेजिंग ब्यूटीफुल ड्रेस पहन रखी है आप प्लीज इनके बारे में भी बताइएगा. इन्होंने बहुत अमेजिंग काम किया है प्लीज इनके लिए तालियां हमें इतनी मेहनत से Can you please? Yeah, we would like to have them. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. We are from Mizoram, and this Rapuliani Women, the FPC is entire FPC is entire owned by the women. I'm an executive officer, and she was our director, and we have 10,000 plus shareholder farmers. So we are dealing with the spices, GI tech. So we are product ginger, turmeric, and chili. So we are under the Ministry of MORD, and we have cover in Mizoram. Mizoram is a very small state. We have 11 districts. Out of 11 districts, we cover 7 districts. So we promote GI tech and organic from Mizoram. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, yeah. Thank you. I would like to now invite VVK Foundation, felicitated for their vital grassroots work in empowering women in rural communities. VVK Foundation, please. प्लीज बताइए अपने. Thank you so much.
Good morning, all. I am Ravi Sajjanar from VVK Foundation. I am the agri leader team. Mainly we are focusing organic farming and IPM production chili. We have near 18 villages under near 1,000 farmers, registered farmers. We are doing contract farming chili and some pulses also. Regularly we supply to big corporators. Thank you. I am from Karnataka, Bagalkot district. Thank you.
ये नेक्स्ट अवार्ड है कोरोमंडल इंटरनेशनल लिमिटेड. मैं उनको बोलूंगी प्लीज आप स्टेज पर आइए. आई रिक्वेस्ट कोरोमंडल इंटरनेशनल लिमिटेड टू स्टेप फॉरवर्ड, ऑनर्ड फॉर द कंटिन्यूअस कमिटमेंट टू सस्टेनेबल कम्युनिटी इकोसिस्टम्स. Do we have representatives from Coromandel International Limited? Okay. Can I have a round of applause, please? मैं request करूंगी कपिल मीना सर से to kindly give this award. Thank you, sir. थोड़ी सी तालियां हो जाए प्लीज.
Hi, good morning. I am Sheetal Chawla from Coromandel International Limited. So I am first of all privileged to be here, to be honored here. A little bit introduction about my company. We are India's first phosphatic fertilizer company. And the award that is there in my hands is because of the initiative, the first ever initiative in the history of Coromandel that we have launched, which is Gromogram initiative. It is first of all village-led initiative wherein we have nearly adopted around 100 villages. And in that 100 villages, we are doing scientific, dedicated scientific advisory through our dedicated more than 200 agronomists, dedicated CSR activities. So our major focus is to increase the livelihood of the farmers, not only in their lifestyle also, but also basis the balanced nutrition, the digital technology, as we are knowing that digital is a topic of the discussion today in any of the sectors that is happening. So our initiative is like, there are many things, in practical reality that is happening, but our major agenda through this Gromogram initiative is the digital adoption, that the various digital interventions that our company or agriculture sector is launching. So let farmers live through it. So the farmers, the team who is there dedicatedly working with those dedicated 100 villages, providing them complete knowledge through our soil health advisory, digital interventions, balanced nutrition, so that their livelihood is increased, they have a total balanced yield is increased, and that ultimately, which basically aligns with our vision, which is to increase the prosperity and to have a better sustainable future. Thank you.
Last but not the least, we formally recognize the JSW Foundation for their substantial and holistic impact on grassroots rural development. JSW Foundation, please. I would request Kapil Meena sir to kindly give away this award. बहुत ज्यादा सन्नाटा है. Thank you so much.
Thank you all dignitaries for
this award, and I'm from the JSW Foundation, that's the CSR arm of JSW Group. And this award mostly belongs to our effort on farmer producer organization in Vijayanagar and around 3 districts around Vijayanagar. And like in Vijayanagar and Karnataka, we have promoted more than 29 FPOs and from last 3 or 4 years. And they are working with more than 50,000 farmers across this district. And they are doing like collective procurement, collective marketing, and also financial linkages with government schemes. So that's like just a short brief here. Thank you.
I would request all the dignitaries to kindly take your seats, please. Thank you. I would now like to request Mr. Aditya Bagri, Co-Chairman, ICC Agribusiness and Food Processing Committee and Director, Bagri's India Limited, to kindly give his vote of thanks.
So just after this, if possible, and then maybe we could even take it offline. But a very good morning to all of you. Thank you so much for making it, in the morning, and to Krishi Vikram 2.0. The Indian Chamber of Commerce and the Food and Agri Committee, which Srikanji, chairs, has been one of the core committees of Indian Chamber, doing over 30 events across the year, especially focusing on the eastern sector as well as many parts of the country. But Krishi Vikram has been our flagship event, and this is the second edition of Krishi Vikram. So it's great to see the turnout and the kind of engagement we've had today. And we have some very exciting panels lined up in going forward as well. And the theme for Krishi Vikram has been Viksit Krishi for Viksit Bharat. And I don't think there can be a more pertinent theme. And my esteemed colleagues and Dr. Singh, who very rightly mentioned that the world is looking at India for their food security. And Mr. Goenka, who mentioned that the future of agriculture will be built by collaboration. And, being an expert in the irrigation sector, there is a lot of work to be done. Major Bakshi also mentioned specifically on adoption of technology and AI and encouraging the next generation of farmers, and especially getting the Gen Z to look at farming, where we have a challenge with the subsequent generation which is not interested in getting into agriculture as a sector. I think we had a very comprehensive and educative discussion by Meena ji. I'd like to thank Meena ji for taking time out, and the work that the Horticulture Board is doing is truly transformative in our sector, and especially focusing on the fact that horticulture gives substantially better returns. And if farmers' income has to double, horticulture will play a major role, and especially looking at the fact that the sector is already growing by 5 to 6%, and with huge opportunities and huge support from the government in terms of making fruits and vegetables and horticulture a major source of income for farmers. I would like to sincerely thank Professor for taking time out and giving his erudite words. I don't think we could have had a more comprehensive, erudite knowledge session from someone who's truly the leading mind behind India's development. So thank you so much, sir, for taking time out. And so you spoke about the fact that we have a challenge with 17% of GDP coming from 43% of the population, which is a population skewness that we have, and hence income needs to increase and we need to find alternative sources of employment. And the fact that increasing farmers' income from non-farm sources is extremely important. And I'd like to focus upon one of the key aspects that you looked at, especially reforms, and very succinctly structured into climate, AI-led reforms, and the fact that geopolitics has a role to play in reforms. So you focused on technology, with gene editing technology as something that India is adopting vis-a-vis genetic modification, which our country has, truly protected our consumers and farmers from. And the fact that there are reforms required around fertilizer consumption, there is rationalization, and using AI and blockchain, we can especially work on high-yielding crops. I think it was extremely pertinent that you raised the point on cooperations, and especially the role of women in farm gate infrastructure. And if this income has to increase and multiply, then the role of women in farm infrastructure, as well as many of the cooperatives which are doing amazing work, has to substantially increase. The agro-processing sector, which is a sector that we represent, the cluster-based processing approach, the focus on a two-pronged approach in exports, where you have value-based exports, which are smaller and more niche, and very efficient volume-based export potential, as India looks at exports, is extremely important. Thank you, sir, for mentioning the role of the East. I think Indian Chamber has very deep roots in the East and Northeast of India, and I'm glad that, for growth in food and agri, we're looking at East and Northeast. Lastly, I'd like to sum up that for many years, we've been talking about farm to fork, and that's been the way that Indian agriculture and Indian food and agri supply chain has been going. I think what I can take away from the discussion is that this has to be fork to farm, where it is more demand-led and not supply-led, where we get the right products of the right variety which consumers need, and go back to the agri infrastructure to produce those products for us, and that will truly be transformative for India. So I'd like to thank Dr. Mahendra Rao, Mr. Meena, Major Bakshi, Rajiv ji, Shrikant ji, my chairman, to organize this wonderful opening session, and we have lovely panels ahead. So we'll look forward to the audience, encouraging their participation in the panels ahead as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And now, as we come towards the end of this discussion, this session, I heartily appreciate the auspicious presence of all our dignitaries and guests. I would like to invite Mr. Shrikant Goenka to kindly present our chief guest, Professor S. Dev, with the memento, please. A huge round of applause for all our dignitaries, please. Can we, I request everybody to please come forward so that we can have a group picture, please. Thank you. I would now like to request Major Vishal Bakshi to kindly present the memento to Mr. Kapil Meena, please. Thank you so much. And one more group picture. Are we going for the group picture? Yes. Can we have a mic, please?
So, good morning. I am Anil Verma, presently chairman Anand Group. Before that, I was in bank, and while working in bank, I had an opportunity to work with 2 village branches, and we worked hand in glove with the grassroots level workers, village level workers, BDOs, Tahsildars, and even up to district development officer. Sir, my experience of working with the panchayat and panchayat level people, even sarpanches, we have to establish close rapport with the villagers, with the farmers, which I had. So much so that even for their children's weddings and engagements would consult me. That was my rapport with them. So while talking, sir, my suggestion is that unless we work at grassroots level with farmers in hand and glove with them, we cannot develop agriculture, we cannot develop villages. So we have to think of working at grassroots level, which I have had.
Thank you so much, sir. विद दिस हम ये सेशन रैप अप करते हैं. मैं अपने सारे डिग्निटरीज को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, थैंक यू. एंड अभी हमारा कोई ब्रेक नहीं होगा, अभी हमारा कोई ब्रेक नहीं है और मैं नेक्स्ट सेशन अनाउंस कर रही हूँ. तो वील स्टार्ट विद न्यूज विद नेक्स्ट सेशन इमीडिएटली. थैंक यू. Thank you so much. Thank you. So our next panel discussion is future farming, innovation, technology, and climate resilience. And for this, I would like to invite on stage Dr. Binaya Kumar Parida, Senior Associate, Vice President, and Chief Agronomist, Coromandel International Limited. Can I have a huge round of applause for Dr. Binaya Kumar Parida? Our next guest is Dr. Anand Chandra, co-founder and CEO Arya.ag. I would also like to invite on stage Dr. Shailendra Singh, Chief Operating Officer, Zydex Industries Private Limited. Dr. Shailendra Singh, please. It's my honor to invite Mr. Amit Kumar Singh, Senior Vice President, Strategic Marketing and Alliances, Bharat Certis Agri Science Limited. And now I would like to invite Mr. Michael Swarsky, Venture Founder, Digital Farming, Bayer Crop Science. Can I have a huge round of applause for Mr. Michael, please? And now I would also like to invite Mr. Amit Khare, Founder and Managing Partner, Snail Integral Private Limited. Mr. Khare is also going to moderate this session. Can we have a mic from Mr. Khare, please? Oh, we have. Mr. Amit Khare, I will leave you at this. So over to you. Before we start the session, I would request everybody to please give a huge round of applause because as traffic got up, people got late, and people had tough coming here. So huge round of applause for all of us. Thank you. Mr. Khare, over to you.
Thank you.
Good morning. So this is the first panel after the wonderful inaugural session. We are now discussing some kind of technical or new era of agriculture. As you know, agriculture is facing lots of challenges, and these challenges is not new. From जब से मैं बोलूं कि जब से मैंने होश संभाला है, the same challenges are still. But despite of these challenges, our contribution is somewhere around 16 to 18% in India's GDP. And data is talk about 40% to 50% population is depend on agri. But I believe we all are depend on agri. डायरेक्टली और इनडायरेक्टली. बहुत ही लाइटर मोड में अगर मैं कहूं तो अगर जो हमारे किसान यहाँ पे बैठे हैं, कल के दिन अगर ये किसानी छोड़ देते हैं तो हमारे पास अलादीन का चिराग नहीं है जहां से हमारे पास फूड आ सके. सो वी ऑल आर डायरेक्टली और इनडायरेक्टली वी डिपेंड ऑन एग्रीकल्चर. डिस्पाइट ऑफ दिस डिपेंडेंस, देयर इज अ मेनी चैलेंजेस कम अराउंड लाइक वाटर स्कैर्सिटी, लैंड होल्डिंग जो अब धीमे धीमे कम हो रही है. We have a challenges of climate change, El Nino, these all. But then too, there is an opportunity also. AI, IoT, precision farming, these all comes to creating the larger opportunity in the agriculture sector. So it's a mixed kind of review. We have a challenges also, and same too, we have a opportunity. So we will discuss in this panel discussion, Viksit Krishi for Viksit Bharat in 2047. As a future landscape, we are going to be discussed for this. We have a very wonderful panel, जो जिनसे मैं सीखा हूं, आज उनसे क्वेश्चन रखूंगे. But then too, let me introduce our panel. In my right side, with Binaya ji from Coromandel International. We were in touch somewhere around 2-3 years, but this is the first time we are meeting in this ICC platform. So first of all, thank you for ICC. We are having with Anand ji from RAIG. He's a wonderful speaker and talking about the digital technology in agri. In my left side, Dr. Salinder ji from Jaides Group, one of the person जिनके अंडर में मैंने भी काम किया है. So thank you so much, sir. Amit ji, my good friend and boss भी बोले मेरे नाम जैसे ही Amit Singh from Bharat Service. Let's welcome him. And then we have a Michael from Bayer. First time I'm meeting with the Michael, but yes, from Bayer, all leadership comes from the Simon and the Mohan Babu, Rajveer ji. This is a very good friendship. Now we also introduce you. So let's start for this panel. I will not take that much time, and I'll also request you all panel member to, your questions should be some brief because we are running against the time. So, one of my friends is also welcome here, guest from Germany, and Vijit. My first question comes from the right side, Dr. Salinder Singh. Yeah. So, sir, climate resilience begin with the soil, healthy soil. In your view, what is the one change India must make to build climate-smart agriculture? Climate-smart agriculture.
I think I just repeat what Professor Mahendra Dev said, that apart from lots of benefits of the green revolution, the one of the side effect has been on the water and soil. And if we want to go from here to a resilient, climate resilient or sustainable agriculture or whatever we call it, in very simple layman term, if I want my grandchildren to do the farming, I need to ensure that I act today. Unfortunately, I'm also a farmer, so I understand a little psyche of the farmer. We can keep on discussing a lot of technical aspects and a lot of technologies in this room and in the farm, in the policymakers' chambers. What I have understood is there are two things which are very, very important. If we want to really bring in a change, it needs to be convenient and it needs to be as part of the fitting into the existing practices of the farmers. Now we have been, there are a lot of discussions around organic farming, around natural farming, around improving the soil health through various non-chemical approaches. I simply have one thing to say here, that there are technologies available which can accelerate this process rather than going through the entire natural way of doing it. The second thing is those technologies need to be taken to the farmer. Now, any organization which has these technologies cannot do alone. We cannot reach 14 crore farmers. Any organization, Michael is sitting with Bayer here. I work with Monsanto and Dow. Even these organizations couldn't reach to each and every farmer. Now, the use of the system, the government system of the extension system, which is there but it's become a defunct thing, need to be roped in. And there has to be a change in the mindset. I'm being a little blunt. Some people may take it offense. But we need to change the mindset of that system, incorporate newer technologies, and take it to the farmers if we really want to do any climate resilient or any kind of improvement in the agriculture today and tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. So it means collaboration is the key. Thank you. Let's move for Dr. Vijay Kumar Dohre. I cannot hear, right? Vinay Kumar ji. So, with precision farming, being healthy, highly productive, using low input labor, how near is the reality for making it applicable to small and marginal farmers?
Okay. Thanks, Amit. As you mentioned, I met you after a long gap. So thanks, ICC, for inviting me to give my view on one of the most important topic. And as you organized this Krishi Vikram program in this Vikasit Krishi Vikasit Bharat, which is very, very important because we are a farmer-led country where 9.3 crore farmer agri household is there. And in that, the maximum, if you will see, more than 85% of the farmers are the small and the marginal farmers. And the precision farming, when it comes into the existence, it is mainly for in Europe and the Latin American countries, that is for the big farm holdings. But now that is not the case. Because if you look into the farmers, major farmers have 10 points, that is the, as of now we are going El Nino, that is the climate variability, weather variability, then the shortage of the labors, then the multi-nutrient deficiency, no more single nutrient deficiency is there, and then the linkage to the mandis, prices, then forward linkages. If we take everything into consideration of the problems, there is a solution comes in the terms of the precision agriculture. I will talk about this in the morning also. Professor Dev spoke about this drone technology. Yes, now the drone technology is accessible to almost all the smallholder farmers. And we talk about the nano drone Nidhi. And as a Carbonolite, I am proud to say that we have given 200 free drones to the nano drone Nidhis. And many sitting over here, CG managing that one. And out of that 200 nano drone Nidhis, already 40 to 45 nano drone Nidhis are become the Lakpati Nidhis, which is the vision of the government. As a private organization, we have done that. Apart from that, also for the precision spraying, also precision application of the fertilizers, we also adopted this drone technology. We ourselves is having more than 300 plus drones, which the farmers, the smallholder farmers are utilizing. So it is no longer the means owning the technology, owning the precision things for them. It is how they are adopting, how better they will be utilizing the data for the decision making. That is more important. And also we, as a Coromandel, soil test, leaf test, water test is very, very important. And as being the chief agronomist, we have opened up almost around 58 new clinics across the country. So the soil test based advisory, we can give it to the farmers, so that the myth is generally one myth is there, if I apply more fertilizer, I will get more yield. So that we want to break. So into integrated nutrient management, integrated pest management, drone technology, and the groomer drone in the morning for which we got awarded. We are educating the farmers how they can utilizing all this technology, whether it is a smallholder farmer or big holder farmer, doesn't matter. Smallholder farmer, another case, if you see a greenhouse grower or a polyhouse grower, he is having 1/4 of an acre, but he is a crorepati because he is using all type of technology, IoT, ML, all the sensors they are using and they are getting the benefit. So technology is not for the big farmers, now it is accessible for the small farmers. Even if with the smartphones, we are getting all the advisory, weather advisory based solutions, then satellite based solutions. So it is no longer a big farmer tool, it is also accessible to the small and medium farmers, and they are utilizing it and they are getting benefit out of it. But main thing is that we have to look into the affordability at that small and marginal farmer level. That is what I can say.
So the major factor is accountability comes along. So Anandji, agriculture I mean to say, digital platform are creating an impact in agriculture. So how do you think this technology will increase the farmer income apart from the produced, or some different angle?
Morning, everyone. First of all, thanks to ICC for inviting me here. So, Amit, I guess India doesn't need disruptive technologies as of now. And what we fall in love with technologies, we think blockchain is going to be the panacea for all our problems, or AI is going to solve the problem. I believe basic technologies in terms of adding trust and transparency is what is more critical at this stage. While we talk about big technologies like precision agriculture and what Sir mentioned right now, affordability will be a challenge. What we are not realizing is that lands are getting fragmented with every generation when it gets passed down. So the cost of affording those technologies will become difficult. So what we need is a basic technologies. These platforms like what we run at ARIA, along with embedded finance, helps the farmers to get better price for their produce. There are platforms available, but the challenge in other which we witness is, as a country, despite more than 70 years of independence, we still don't have grading for our produce. Commodity quality is only a go, no-go criteria. That this is what is acceptable, this is what is not acceptable. We don't have grading, unlike in many other countries which trade platforms on. So platforms are going to help, but I believe for more the technology to get adopted, the policy levels or the what Shailendra mentioned, the thought process have to align, which we are not able to align so far. We're trying to do too many things, trying to look only at farmers. But if you want the system to evolve, you will have to look at all the other players in the ecosystem, which unfortunately we don't. We talk about farmers. They have to be spoken about. There's no two way about it. They have to be helped, but so is the industry also. The industry has to pull it up, because when we talk about market-led, who is leading market? I give you a classic example where I believe things are not right happening. And I don't know the thought behind it. Today, India is sitting on 125 million tons of grains. We need around 35 to 40 million tons for our food security. The rest 85 million tons you have taken out of the market. Now, what is the apprehension behind? The cost of holding this, the capital cost, the administrative cost will be around 2 lakh crores. That's going from the taxpayers' money, which we are not realizing. So the policy level issues which are there needs to be addressed. Technology will automatically find its way. Like I said, trade will find its way. When this tariff war was going on, I remember a statement made by the Singapore trade minister. He said, whatever tariff they want to put, let them put. Trade will find its way. You let trade happen. You cannot restrict trade and say it is not market-led. You may want to produce everything. You may ask the farmers to go to horticulture, but what will happen if there is a market created for that? Who will create that market? So let it be market-led more. Things will fall in place. Farmers have to be supported. I heard in the previous panel, you have plottings can be done. You can monitor the plot size. You can monitor what they're doing. You link your incentive, which I believe farmers have to be supported. There's no second thought on that. You link your incentive to what they are producing. Simple. Let the market run the rest. You cannot control the production. You cannot control the output and then say we are a market-led model, which we are not. That's the point. Technology will find a way.
Anandji, it's actually the debatable topic. We will discuss some more
Yes, but we are here for debate only.
That's which the point you have raised on. Some years back, government had tried to do the market-led transform, but what happened, everyone knows on that. I'll not put down this, might be controversial, but let's move.
Amit, the elephant in the room is this. See, you build whatever technologies you want to, but if you don't address the basics, you want to build a multi-story building with a poor base, it will fall. The base are the policies, it has to be addressed, if not now, 5 years later. Otherwise, what you mentioned, that we were talking about public-private partnerships 20 years ago, the same challenges and same here again. And maybe another 20 years.
Definitely. Let's move for Anandji. It's a very good, interesting is starting with technology and the digital and physical kind of collaboration we are going on and the policies. Innovation in the crop protection is one different kind of debate which comes. Innovation in crop protection are fast emerging. Can you tell us which trend are you looking at in terms of future of solutions?
So good morning, everyone. Good morning, Amit, and thanks to ICC. So this is a very interesting question that in Indian crop protection sector, so what trend and which trend is emerging? So as you know, in case of if you talk to the global crop protection, my friend from Bayer Crop Science, so is around global crop protection, if we estimate, is around $80 billion, and it's growing around 2 to 3% year on year. But from 2023, as you know, that it's not good for especially the crop protection sector, and now India is around 3.5, around 4 billion, you can say USD. But one good thing is that compared to the global, India is emerging very, very fast, and we are growing around 7 to 8% of the CAGR compared to the global. Earlier, if you talk to in 2020 or 2023, our share is around 3 to 3.5%. Now we are expecting around 2030, the global market will touch around 100 billion expected, and we will be touch around 7 to 8 billion, around 6% share. So now coming exactly answer of your question, in Indian crop protection sectors, lots of things are going very, very well and emerging well. One of the most, which I like most, is the safer chemistries. Number two is a formulation innovation. This is also going very well because, you know, from last around 10 to 15 years, new research molecules from inventors, which I can say one of the inventor is the Bayer, and from European, the Bayer Crop Science, Syngenta, from multinational, and especially the Japanese, which I belong to with the company of Bharat Surtees Group of Mitsui. So this R&D based company, they are not giving lots of product compared to last 10 to 15 years. So is our moral responsibility or industry moral responsibility what are the trend it should emerge, and we will give a best solution to the farmers. So what the industry is doing the innovation in the formulation, safer chemistries. Another is, you can say, the precision agriculture. Biological driven products, which we are talking from morning, that like organic products. So this type of the trends are emerging in Indian crop protection sector, which is much, much required because as you know, from 2023, the good, not a good year for especially the farmers also coming here, not good for that. Sometimes rains are very, very good, sometimes rain are not there. Now this year also the El Nino effect, and the farmers wherever the rain-fed area, the farmers are very much confused what they should do. I've just recently visited the MP, especially the Indore Ujjain area. So I have seen the farmers are struggling for what should they do for the especially herbicide application in soybean, because there is no water and there is no moisture, and the products work with the moisture. So those kind of the our responsibility also, the industry responsibility also, university responsibility also, and department also, that we should develop such kind of the technology that is good for the farmers. So those kind of the trends are emerging. One is organic, another the precision, but still my recommendation, and I say that we need to work a lot in those trends, how we can support and help farmers to come out of this problem. So this is my input.
Thank you, Amitji. Now I'll just move to the Michael. Michael, digital farming has transformed agriculture worldwide. So what global innovation do you think India should adopt immediately?
Yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you for ICC. And yeah, I think we had a really great introduction in the beginning where we heard a lot about precision agriculture, and I'm a true believer in precision agriculture. If we look at the innovation in Europe and US, right, then I think there's a few things that are not transferable to India, right? If we look at how precision agriculture works there, you have a satellite map, and then you load the satellite map with some insights on a precision sprayer or a precision seeder. So you put certain hybrids on this part of the field and that part of the field, and you spray. I think the resolution of the satellite image is probably still not good enough for the small fields of India, and of course the precision sprayers are not there yet. So that's why I would rather look at a smallholder market like India, and that is China. And one game-changing innovation of precision agriculture in China was drones, right? And how did China do it? They built national champions, DJI, XAG. They basically subsidized substantially the purchase of drones up to 50%, right? So imagine a 6 lakh drone now costing only 3 lakh. And they basically helped these national champions also digitize the entire land, right, the agricultural land. So with imaging drones, they basically mapped all the fields, all the plots. So if I'm a farmer, I want to order a drone spray service. It's basically like on Uber, right? I open the app, I just select my plot, it calculates the size of the plot, the cost, the timing, all of that, right? So it's convenience, it's accessible, it's affordable, right? And that means by now there are 300,000 drones in operation in China. 50% of acres are sprayed by drones. In paddy, that's more than 80%, and everybody who walked through a muddy rice field knows what step change that is, right? And in India, it's still less than 10% what is sprayed by drone. And India, I think, could do the same, right? India could invest into building that kind of strategic industry, right, in manufacturing for drones. There are so many, as was mentioned, employment opportunities for drone pilots, especially for women, right? And of course, all the sustainability benefits that it brings, right? Up to 90% less water, up to 30% less input use, better efficacy because you have the small droplet size that just sticks to everywhere on the plant. You can spray 1 acre in 10 minutes as opposed to 2 hours, right? So many benefits. There are, of course, some schemes out there like this Agriculture Infrastructure Fund, and there are some lottery-based schemes, right? But transforming your agriculture should not be based on luck, right? And what I see is the biggest challenge is really the unit economics, because if a drone spray costs 500-600 rupees an acre, like it's hard to get farmer demand. If it can come down to 300-400 rupees, right, then it makes it viable. And now there are more and more of homegrown Indian companies like Salam Kisan who are then closing the loop on the precision agriculture, who are mapping the field and then uploading the map and then spraying it very precisely with also kind of a digital ordering system and all of that. So it is coming up, but I still think more support can be given to drive that strategic industry.
Thank you, Michael. At the first round, when we talk about the questions and the answer, I think the nutshell comes around that we have to think about collaboration in terms of digital, AI, and phygital approach, as Anandji has talked about. When I talk about the precision farming, there's another question comes around. So I'll again move to the Salinderji. So GIDEX has been promoting water-intensive or the water-efficient farming. What is the biggest challenge in taking this innovation to the millions of the farmers in India?
Okay, let me take 60 seconds to explain about the technology, and then we will talk about the challenges. See, Zydex is basically a material science company, and we have a specialization in polymer technology. So we have developed various formulations of polymer, which if they apply in soil, they can enhance the porosity and aeration in the soil. And some of the polymer formulations which are based on the microencapsulation technology can enhance the efficacy of all the inputs. And when I'm saying all the input means fertilizers and chemical pesticides and everything, even biological inputs. We are highly focusing on the nutrient use efficiency aspect because that is one of the bigger challenge. I was just looking at the numbers in India. The nutrient use efficiency ranges around 30 to 40%, whereas in developed nations it is about 65 plus. So there is a lot of scope in reducing all these wastages. I come from that background of Lean and Six Sigma, so I know what is the real cost of waste. Coming back to your question on the challenges, I touched upon when I was talking earlier. One of the biggest challenges is the changing mindset of the people who are the torch bearers or the influencers. Because this has been my personal experience. We go and tell who is a bigger influencer. The answer mostly I get is, if your technology is so good, let it take it off automatically. Why should we spend? Now the question is, Indian farmer is not going to use a new technology unless he sees it. Seeing is believing. He doesn't believe on ears, he believes on eyes. So the bigger challenge is to the scale on which we need to take it to. As I mentioned earlier, 14 crore farmers. How do we reach to them? Now that requires a lot of collaboration. Now there are a lot of people who are talking about sustainability. A lot of government programs are there on the sustainability and newer technology and all those things. When we approach them, they simply say, yeah, we will think about it. Thank you very much. Come back again. So this is a reality. And unless people change the mindset and we bring in a collaborative approach, what Anand was talking about, I don't think it is going to take off. I mean, we can keep on discussing this in various forums. I've been discussing it for 5 years. Whatever we have done at our own level, whatever we could afford, we are doing it. But if we really want to change, I mean, it's not alone, we cannot do it. Thank you.
So only word is the problematic here. Only we have to the cooperative one. Munaya ji, I'll again move to you. The issue of balanced nutrition and healthy soil has gained significance. How can technology assist farmer in making better agronomic decisions?
Yeah, actually, this is a very interesting question. And being a soil scientist myself, it is very hard for me also. But if you see in India, over the years, no more single nutrient deficiency in the soil is there. Always coming a multi-nutrient deficiency is happening. Initially started with the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Now even if some areas almost around 15 to 16 nutrient deficiency is coming up. When we are talking about the balanced nutrition or integrated nutrient management, we are only focusing on organic plus chemical. And when we talk about the chemical, our main focus is urea, DAP, MOP, or partly SSP. We are not going beyond that. But there is another set of secondary nutrients and micronutrients which we have to also to look upon it. If we properly want to get the proper yield as well as the productivity as well as the maintaining the soil health when we are talking about. So for that we need to have increase. The one is the nutrient use efficiency, because if you see 1.7 lakh crores of subsidy is coming, and the urea whatever we are taking, 35% is usable by the plant, 65% is wastage. Suppose 1 lakh crore we are spending, so 35,000 crores being used by the plant, 65,000 crores is going to the water or the air because of the volatilization losses or the leaching losses. Only until we have to increase the nutrient use efficiency of the products. So then it will be very difficult to make the balance fertilization. One part is that. Because we can come to the second important nutrient, that is the phosphorus. That is maximum we are using DAP and all the NPK products. There the phosphorus use efficiency is going from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, on an average it is 20%. So 80% is waste. And the maximum of the raw material for the phosphorus we are taking it from the outside. That means 80% wastage is there. So how we can improve the nutrient use efficiency of the NPK, that is very, very important. The second aspect for the balanced fertilization is the crop specific grades. We have to develop the crop specific grades, and the government as a policy they have to support it. Even if you will go into the books, so there are I think in the FCO fertilizer control order there are more than 200 products are there, and globally there are some 500 to 600 products are there. But if you will go to our fertilizer book or whatever, I am being agriculture graduate, whatever I have studied,
in way back in 90s, still the same thing we are studied in our book. There is nothing is there. Only some sort of the companies are coming, there are crop specific grade, they are developing, but that population is not having. Unless until we will develop the better nutrient use fertilizers, unless until we will not develop the crop specific grades, which is easy for the farmers to apply and subsidize that one, then it will be very difficult to maintain this ecosystem into the consideration. And also government, they have done a lot of soil health cards. But how many farmers read that soil health cards and give advisory kind of things? So the soil health cards, the advisory, soil health test-based advisory need to be promoted, which in partly in my organization we are doing it with our 58 innovative clinics. I think this PPP model, whatever we are suggesting, that is also very beneficial. If we disseminate the soil health card based advisory, so that we will maintain our soil health. Better the soil health, better will be the community, and better will be the farmers' productivity in going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinayji. Now let's move to the Anandji again. What will be the importance of data and digital infrastructure is shaping the future of farm ecosystem?
So digital infrastructure and data, one bottom rule I would say, which I'm sure most of us will agree, people in India are still not graduated to a level where they'll pay you for data. There are a lot of advisory companies and people who have come with a lot of data, but people, ecosystem are not willing to pay you for. I have a very, I would say, random thought on this. A question to all the audience: which is the largest agri-business company in India? Or the biggest, I would say? ITC, anybody else? Amul? I guess it's the government of India. With the amount of volume of MSP they buy and then they sell it in FCI. Yeah. So if the largest company is government of India, I think they will have to look at investing into the digital infrastructure in terms of deciding what the country will produce. Like today we all use Google Maps to decide where what traffic is there. They have the infrastructure, they decide that I want to grow this much tons of wheat, I want to grow this much tons of paddy, I want to grow this much ton, and then you incentivize the farmers to it. Then you become a superpower. You are the largest player, infrastructure you're subsidizing through food, fertilizer. Why not control the production? That's the only thing which is left. You are the largest trader, you are the largest supplier, why not control the production also? That's the only leg which is missing in the country from government of India. You are helping the farmers for subsidies, 6,000 rupees per farmer. You are helping the farmers in buying their commodities. You are helping the farmers so that they get good returns for what they produce. So why not ask them to produce what the country needs? You handle that in. So the actual use of digital infrastructure will come that way. And then what all the other gentlemen are talking about, managing the nutrient, managing the precision agriculture, everything will fall into place. That's the best.
Anand, I have a comment on this. Actually, it is not like I'm not from Government of India for clarification. I'm from Coromandel. But yes, I'm staying in Telangana. I'm from Odisha and studied in Punjab Agriculture University. I'm staying in Hyderabad, Telangana. Yes, Telangana government also started this crop colony concept. Yes, but 3 or 4 years they have done this. They want to diversify, crop diversification as you are talking. They tried for that, but it was not quite successful. Yes, as you mentioned, a lot of efforts needs to be put into that so that it can be flourished. But it was tested by some of the governments, but they may not come into the reality.
Actually, sir, I wanted someone to comment like this. And the reason is, why are some of those challenges not getting addressed? Like, for example, 20 years ago or 22 years ago, when I attended my first conference, we were still talking about public-private partnership. We were talking about building cold storage infrastructures. Why it has not happened? You know why? I think there's a point where government will also have to, or my recommendation or suggestions to them is to take a step back, let the private things handle it. That's where the key rise. Leave the sector. You want to help the farmers, increase the payout linked to the production. Leave it to the private sectors to all. You're trying to overdo things through subsidies. You are not clear as to whether the subsidies for the individual or for the corporate to do. Leave it. Leave it, and automatically things might fall in place.
आनंद जी, एक हिंदी में कहावत है जिसका काम उसी को साजे. So when I have a big objection on that point that let the corporate has to be do with this. Yes, incentivization for the farmer is a good thought we have to think about, but making the whole corporatization for the farmer, what farmer is doing, that's something issue we have to think about definitely.
आज इंडिया गवर्नमेंट के पास कोई एयरलाइन नहीं है.
So
trying to privatize railways also. So writing is on the board. Depends on how fast we want to take it.
Sure. Thank you. Let's continue for this debate with Anuji. In terms of climate smart agriculture, how critical the collaboration between industry, startups, government, academia, these all.
That's a very interesting question nowadays, and I'm still agree with Michael that the technology compared to the global and especially the Europe, the Japan, even the Asian countries, they are far ahead with the India, and then we are still on the traditional things, and we still does not mean we are transforming, but last 3 years we need to really wake up with the El Nino effect, and from this year also. No one, or you can say one stakeholder cannot do anything. So we need to collaborate, all three. So here is the three special, you can say, stakeholder. One is the universities, agriculture departments, or you can say the government of India. Another, the most important is the startups which are coming, and India is the leading. We are proud of say. And even though Indian agriculture also, the startups are doing great. Third is the corporate, like we, Coromandel, Bayer, Crop Science, Bharat, JEDEX, these type of the companies, they are also. These are the three important pillars who need to collaborate. And they are collaborating, but not like that. They need to collaborate more. Why? One is the agriculture universities and government bodies where we Bharat are doing great. One of the another that Dhanuka, the RG sir is here. They are doing super great in terms of the collaboration with the universities, and they are continuously focusing that how this type of the collaboration among this universities, government bodies, and with the farmers they can do. Agriculture universities, government body, they have a brain. They have a year-on-year data, and especially the insect disease, weeds, and the problem physiological order, soil, which the Shailendraji told. They have the entire data. They have a vast data, they have a brain, they have a expertise to identify that. A startup, they have a technologies, like a precision agriculture, they have a technology, digitization. As per the climate, we now the farmers have also started thinking that we should not flood the water. And I am very surprised when I visited especially the Punjab area. The government has subsidized the solar system and the solar panels, and they have given to the government. And government put a solar system in on the field, and continuously the water pump continuously running. Nobody is bothering when we are behind. We are just behind one thing, that solar. So everyone thinking for the solar system. And now, if you see in Punjab and Haryana, water pump is continuously on, whether the field is require water or not. And same time, the Punjab, Haryana, the northern part, we can say is not a rain-fed. We have a sufficient water, but same time, groundwater is a problem. So those type of the collaboration is required. Still 70% of the water, India water, we are consuming and flooding for Indian agriculture, where we proud. Can we save this water with this condition? Like El Nino, and we are facing same time, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, we don't have water. Even though I cannot say rain-fed or the canal or the water, the river-based water we have. We don't have a groundwater. Or if a groundwater is available, it's so deep. So those type of collaboration, if we can see with the startup, they have a technology, even though precision farming on that technology-based water irrigation. And with that is called a fertigation, is the right word. With that, we can give a fertigation. So those things. Third is a corporate where we are. We also need to collaborate, those startup collaborate with the university. University also need to collaborate. All three, we join hand. We can 100%, we are sure, like a Europe, US, we can develop those technology and give to the farmers. So many good examples, like Rajasthan earlier, they are known for the pomegranate, but Rajasthan farmer doing the pomegranate. Why? Because they have adopted the right technology, and with the drip irrigation, they are doing very good farming, in even though wherever we don't have the water. So I think if we all collaborated and like corporate have a contacts, they can bring the technology from Europe and Japan like country. And same time, the startup also, if we tie up with the universities, so those brains and young minds with the technology and the corporate who have the money, I think we can do lots of things for the farmer, and we can come up this El Nino kind of the situation because we have each and everything compared to the other countries of the global. So this is my input.
Thank you, Vijay. Before moving to the Michael, I just wanted to comment on one. You might hear the news, बारिश आने से पहले एक महीने पहले हम लोगों ने एक न्यूज सुनी थी जब बारिश नहीं आई थी कि मुंबई में 20 या 30 दिन का पानी बचा है। वो पीने के लिए है। अगर बारिश एक महीने लेट होती तो शायद बहुत कुछ दिक्कत होती। वन थिंग। सेकंड वन, एक बार अग्रवाल साहब ने कहा था कि हमें पानी खेतों में नहीं देना है, पौधों में देना है। ये छोटी सी बात बहुत मायने रखती है। इसके साथ आगे बढ़ेंगे, तब तक के लिए मैं बताऊं हमारे चीफ गेस्ट लाहिरी साहब आ चुके हैं। वेलकम टू द लाहिरी साहब। Thank you, आपने टाइम दिया। We will just going to the end of this panel and move forward for this. So, Michael, I just wanted to ask you one thing. Can you just tell us about the farm of the future? From your perspective, on a digital agriculture or whole agriculture background, we'll talk about.
Yeah, definitely. And so maybe to help everyone along, let's put ourselves in the shoes of a farmer and, go through the season together, right? So in the beginning of the season, we're starting to plan, okay, what kind of crop should we grow? And let's imagine that a farmer could have access to a dashboard that would show commodity prices of the last 5 years and a prediction for the commodity price this year. The farmer that maybe has used our digital farming tools and the cost of cultivation is already mapped there. Also, there are schemes and all of that they have access to, right? So ultimately they can see what is the ROI of growing paddy or chili or whatever crop, so that decision is much easier for the farmer. Now they need to get inputs for the field, but before they can buy inputs, they need funds, right? So maybe they will get a KCC loan, but that may not be enough to cover the cost of cultivation, or they may not own a land. Right? So now they need another unsecured crop loan. So the vision would be, and I think this is where also the financial industry should evolve towards, is that rather than looking at the past, at CIBIL scores, which may or may not be indicative of the farmer's potential, let's look at the future. Let's look at what are the future cash flows of the farmer. What is the future earning potential, right? Because the farmer we should look at as a businessman, right? And the potential business, right, that they can bring, right? So unlocking finance with kind of a different approach with other data and different mindset would be the vision. Now coming to then inputs, right? Ultimately, the vision is how do we help the farmer get a personalized advice on what are the right inputs for their situation, for their soil type, for their climate, for their goals of growing what kind of quality, grade of the crop, and all of that. Right, so and we've heard a lot of examples about precision agriculture and predictions and sensors and all of that. But I just wanted to highlight that And in all of this, technology is not enough, right? So, for example, my team is now setting up a pilot in Telangana and AP on growing export compliant chili. We're doing a couple of thousand acres there, and we are helping farmers with a package of practices. We are digitizing as much as possible. We have a drone company also that can spray. But ultimately, it's about the trust, right? Do the farmers trust that they will get that premium price at the end of the season if they follow all of this advice, right? And I think this is where then it's important to have these kind of meetings, and why it's important to convene ecosystem partners together, because it's the input industry, it's the food chain and market players, it's the government, it's the academia who have to come together to create that trust in the farmers, right? Technology is not enough. It has to be that they have to trust that actually in the end of the season I will get a good price for my produce. Right. And ultimately, once the post-harvest management happens, right, all the sorting, grading, storing, right, which then can drive the price for the farmer, ultimately getting the highest price for the quality that they produce. FPOs can help with that to come closer to the farmers. ARIA is doing a great job there with storage solutions. Government schemes like Maharashtra Smart Project are really good there. Ultimately, I think it's also then about, in addition to what I talked about, trust, technology, it's also infrastructure, right? And mangoes are really close to my heart because I really believe Indian mangoes are the best in the world, and I tried it in Africa and Latin America and Southeast Asia. But growing up in Germany, I was deprived of Indian mangoes, right? Because it was just not available. And I was probably 30 when I tried it the first time, that sweetness, right? So I talked about, integrated pest management, but also what about, roads, infrastructure, cold storages, right? For perishable goods, right? So again, here, several players have to come together, government, academia, right? To be able to build those kind of value chains so that actually the farmers can reach the global export markets, and hundreds of millions will not be deprived of Indian mangoes anymore.
Thank you. Now I'll request just a quick closing remark from you, Anandji, and everyone. Just a quick, one sentence closing remark.
No, I would say a lot of agri-tech startups have come. My advice to them would be to identify, quantify the problem, and then look for solutions rather than have a solution in mind and start finding out the problems in the field.
Thank you. Anandji.
Yeah. My closing remark will be, let us improve the nutrient use efficiency of the various products, water use efficiency, because through rice we are importing a lot of water out of the country, and also adopt the digital technology to reach out to the millions of the farmers so that we will improve their crop productivity and prosperity.
Thank you. Salindaji.
I would say just integrate the various management practices into one. Integrated farm management would be, because we have integrated pest management, integrated weed management, but they don't integrate with each other. So that is the integration which is required.
Anandji.
Only one word, we need to close with the farmer, very close working with the farmers, because if whatever we do, if it will not reach to the farmers on the right way, so there is no meaning for that. This is
Thank you. Michael.
Yeah, in addition to that, being really in the shoes of the farmer, thinking of, okay, this is a great technology, but can they actually utilize it? So really putting yourself in that customer or user or a farmer. And I think ecosystem partnerships are also really important, because we are creating markets together and we have to jointly invest into them.
Thank you. It was really a nice panel discussion. And the short note, we came on one common suggestion that collaboration is the key for that. Biological is not the separate industry, agrochemical is not the separate one, fertilizer is not the separate, technology is not the separate. We all have to work collective in a one. That's Salindaji has talked about as IPM is there. So we have to put it down, integrated agri management. This is the one. I want to close this one. Thank you very much, all of you, and thank you for a great listener. That was a nice discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our distinguished speakers, for your amazing discussion, such focused and informative discussion you had. I would now like to invite Mr. Siddhant Mohta, International Advisor to ICC, to kindly give mementos to our distinguished speakers. Yeah, thank you so much. As our speakers are getting their mementos, I would request you to kindly give them a huge round of applause, please. Thank you. I hope आप सबको ये discussion अच्छा लगा होगा and जो भी आप ले सकते हैं इस discussion से, you were able to take that. I would also request the speakers to kindly come forward for a good picture, please. Okay. Without much ado, we will going to start our next session, and after that, maybe we'll take a break, a short break. Mike, do you need a? Yes, no problem, no problem. I would request everyone to kindly please take your seats. Our next session is on the future of Indian agriculture and food. Roadmap to Viksit Bharat 2047. It's my pleasure to invite on stage Mr. Shrikant Goenka, Chairman, ICC Agribusiness and Food Processing Committee and Managing Director, Premier Irrigation Technologies Private Limited. Mr. Shrikant Goenka, please. You are already here. Thank you so much. I would now like to invite on stage Dr. A.K. Tyagi, Executive Director, Haldiram Group of Companies. Dr. A.K. Tyagi, please. It's my honor to invite Dr. R.J. Agrawal, Chairman Emeritus, Dhanuka Agritech Limited. Can I have a round of applause for our guests, please? Thank you. I would like to now invite on stage Dr. Rajiv Singh, Director General, Indian Chamber of Commerce. I would also like to, it's my honor to invite on stage our guest of honor, Dr. Ashok Kumar Lahari, Honorable Vice Chairperson, Niti Aayog, Government of India. Sir, you were having your tea. I will make sure that your tea comes here. Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much. Can I have a huge round of applause for our guest of honor, Dr. Ashok Kumar Lahari, Honorable Vice Chairman, Niti Aayog, Government of India. Thank you so much, everyone. I would now like to request Mr. Siddhant Goenka to kindly welcome everyone with his address. No, we are.
Good afternoon, respected Dr. Lahari sir, Honorable Vice Chairman Niti Aayog, our chief guest, eminent speakers, industry leaders, and friends from agriculture, food, and media. As we move into the heart of today's program, let us reflect on what the theme really means. Viksit Krishi for Viksit Bharat is a national imperative. If India is to achieve its full growth potential by 2047, then agriculture must evolve in a manner that is productive, climate resilient, technologically enabled, and market linked. The future will not belong to systems that merely produce more. It will belong to systems that produce better, with greater efficiency, greater sustainability, and greater value for farmers. We must therefore think beyond conventional agriculture. We must think about precision farming, efficient irrigation, protected cultivation, post-harvest management, value addition, market integration, and digital decision making. We must also ensure that farmers have access to the right knowledge, the right technology, and the right institutional support at the right time. The Honorable Prime Minister has given us a clear direction. He has said, India's agriculture must become a cornerstone of a developed India. That statement is significant because it reminds us that transformation in agriculture is going to be about awareness, adoption, and action at field level. Niti Aayog has played a critical role in shaping the policy conversation around growth, reforms, inclusion, and long-term national strategy. At a time when India is being asked to deliver more, higher productivity, better resilience, stronger value chains, and greater farmer prosperity. Sir, with that context, I'm delighted to invite you and for all of us to share our excitement to hear your vision about agriculture and food in a Viksit Bharat. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shrikant Goenka. And now I would like to invite our chief guest, Dr. Ashok Kumar Lahari, Honorable Vice Chairperson, Niti Aayog, Government of India, to kindly address the audience. Sir. Sir ने भी चाय छोड़ी हम सबके लिए, तो I think we need to give him a round of applause for that. So please.
Namaskar and good afternoon. I am pleased to be here for this inaugural session of Krishi Vikram, organized by the Indian Chamber of Commerce. It is an important platform that brings together policymakers, researchers, industry leaders, startups, FPOs, financial institutions, and farmers to deliberate on the future of Indian agriculture. I attended only a few minutes of the last session and already picked up two things which I'll talk about later. As India progresses towards Viksit Bharat 2047, the theme of this year's program is both timely and relevant, highlighting the need to transform agriculture from a production-centric sector into a technology-driven, value-added, and globally competitive agri-food system. I like this statement. I forget which speaker last session said that the time has come to look at the farmer as a businessman, not the farmer only who produces rice and wheat. He is a businessman. I talk about this transformation because we have come a long way from our struggle for security. It is said that we are born out of a famine. The British colonial masters left us just a few years after the notorious Bengal famine of 1942. And those of us who have grown at an advanced stage, we still remember the 1960s when the food was a problem, food shortage. Even in the 1960s, we used to fight against famines and starvation. Now in the crop year 2000, you remember the gloomy days of PL 480. Those are now distant memories. Now in the crop year 2025-26, with food grain production reaching an all-time high of 376.5 million metric tons, and India's agri exports exceeding $51 billion, we are the world's leading exporter of rice and a top supplier of wheat, millets, and pulses to over 120 countries. Indian agriculture continues to demonstrate resilience and remains the foundation of food security, rural livelihoods, and macroeconomic stability. As the world's largest producer of milk and the second largest producer of food grains, fruits, vegetables, eggs, and fish, the country has emerged as a global agricultural powerhouse. Buoyant agricultural exports reflect India's growing competitiveness in global agri-food markets and the underlying strength of our farmers, our scientific institutions, our policy ecosystems. Yet, there is plenty more to be done for reaching our goal of Viksit Bharat 2047. India's journey towards Viksit Bharat 2047 must be anchored in the transformation of the rural economy, with agriculture serving as a key engine of livelihoods, food security, and inclusive economic growth. With nearly 43% of the workforce dependent on agriculture, enhancing farmers' prosperity remains a national priority. Agriculture and allied sectors produce only 16 to 18% of the country's GDP. As countries develop, the share of agriculture, forestry, and fishing decline. For example, even in China, the share of agriculture and allied sector in total value added in the economy has been declining and was an estimated 6.7% in 2025. With so many people and so little land, we need to rapidly increase productivity in agriculture and provide people in rural areas with employment in non-agricultural sectors. For lack of time, let us leave aside the topic of how to provide alternative employment to rural people in industry and services for another day and focus on what can be done in agriculture to increase farmers' income and bring out the transformation from production to prosperity in agriculture. First is the use of science and technology, or technology adoption in short. I think in the last session you had a long discussion on that. Per acre productivity of most crops are well below the highest observed in the world. For example, in paddy, productivity per acre in India is less than a half of what it is in the US, Egypt, China, Vietnam, and Indonesia. Even among the states, productivity in many states is only a fraction of what it is in Haryana and Punjab. The differential is explained by the application of modern technology, mainly high-yielding hybrid seeds, pesticides, and appropriate fertilizer and water management. In the last session, I heard talk about precision agriculture. We need precision agriculture. In this context, I wish to emphasize the highly skewed fertilizer use in India, with an average nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium NPK ratio of roughly 9.8 is to 3.7 is to 1, vastly deviating from the recommended 4 is to 2 is to 1. Many argue that this massive imbalance is driven by heavy differential government subsidies that make urea artificially cheap. The systemic overuse of nitrogen relative to other nutrients is degrading soil health and lowering crop yields. The correction of this imbalance requires speedy action. But it is stalled by a socio-economic, socio-political logjam. I hope experts assembled here will show us the way out of this morass. Hopefully, the digital public infrastructure, DPI, AgriStack, and the Digital Agricultural Mission are laying the foundation of a data-driven, farmer-centric agricultural ecosystem. Over 9.76 crore farmers' ID have already been generated, enabling targeted service delivery, improved access to schemes, and evidence-based decision-making. The adoption of artificial intelligence, drones, remote sensing, satellite imagery, Internet of Things, and precision agriculture should enhance productivity, optimize input use, reduce costs, and strengthen climate resilience. Second, the transformation from production to prosperity requires a move from food grains, mainly paddy and wheat, to fruits, vegetables, poultry, fisheries, goat raising, and even agroforestry and trees outside forests. I was seeing an article that teak sagwan, how its planting can lead to large farmers' income, of course, with a lag. With increasing per capita income, there has been a substantial rise in monthly per capita expenditure in both rural and urban areas. And not only has the share of food in total household spending decreased, particularly for cereals, with changing dietary preferences, households are diversifying their diets with increased consumption of milk and milk products, fresh fruits, eggs, fish and meat. There has also been an increase in ready-to-cook and ready-to-eat processed food, including through online delivery. Supply needs to adjust to changing demand. And we need to produce more of not what we lacked 20 years ago, but what the consumers are demanding today. This shift is essential for moving just productivity to profitability. And when in the last session, our wise friend said that farmers should be looked upon as businessmen. If they're businessmen, they will adjust their supply to demand. Furthermore, we need to reach out from the farm gate to the global market for realizing better values for our products. We are not doing enough as yet. Our friend from Germany complained that he spent his first 30 years of life without tasting Indian mangoes. Even now the problem persists. I believe, and I got the confirmation from our German friend, that we produce some of the best mangoes in the world. But the presence of these mangoes, such as Langra, Dasedi, Chonsa, Baganpalli, Alfonso, in the top markets of the world is limited at best and non-existent at worst. We need to have a much greater presence of our specialized high-value agricultural products on the world stage. Let me just add 3 more strategic shifts that we need for transforming Indian agriculture in line with Vikasit Bharat 2047. These are the move from raw produce to value-added products, from fragmented farming to strong producer institutions, and from input-intensive agriculture to climate-smart and sustainable agriculture. Moving from raw produce to value-added products such as raw pineapple to sliced and tinned pineapple will not only generate extra income and create employment, but also avoid the enormous losses that we sustain every year through wastage of agricultural produce. According to one estimate, we lose nearly $18.5 billion annually due to agricultural produce wastage. Post-harvest losses of fruits and vegetables in India range between 15 to 18% before they reach the market, which is among the highest of any crop category. We need more cold storage facilities and better supply chain logistics. Fourth, We need better institutional support for the farmers through strong producer organizations. A small or marginal farmer neither has the knowledge, nor the expertise, nor the capital or market connectivity to do many things that he needs to do or she needs to do to market her limited produce in or buy fertilizer or pesticide from the city market a few dozen kilometers away. As you may know, I spent my last 5 years in a remote area as a member of the Legislative Assembly. I went to one village, and there they're complaining that the pesticide they were getting was adulterated. The city was not very far off. City was, I think, about 20 kilometers away. Why can't this problem be solved through farmers producer organization? They buy it from the city and sell it to their members. A strong producer organization can solve many of these problems. Fifth, we need to move from an input-intensive agriculture to climate-smart and sustainable agriculture. I loved what was said. I think who said it? Mr. Khare said it. That पानी खेत को नहीं देना है, पानी क्रॉप को देना है. हम खेत को पानी देते हैं. Let me give you an example. I mean, this transformation is obvious to you, but in this context, let me give you a small example. We have solar-powered submersible pumps for irrigation. Even in my constituency, through my MLA development fund, I established some. I often wonder how much subsoil water is being pumped out unnecessarily because of this arrangement, particularly when the solar power for this purpose is not connected to the power grid. When the solar power source is not connected to the grid, the power is free and does not have any alternative use. Are the farmers less careful about running the pump and wasting water unnecessarily? The immediate opportunity cost of running the pump becomes zero when the solar pump power is not connected to the grid. To avoid the wastage of this exhaustible natural resource of groundwater, I wonder whether all solar power sources for submersible irrigation pumps should be compulsorily connected to the grid. If they want to run the pump with the solar power, let them do it. But they will realize that they could have sold it to the grid at a higher price. Now let me say a few things about the government initiatives. The Union Budget 2026-27 has reinforced the vision for an agriculture for Viksit Bharat 2047 through enhanced investments in agriculture, continued support under PM Kisan, and new national missions for fruits, vegetables, pulses, coconut and cashew to lay the foundation for a resilient and future-ready agriculture system, agri-food system. The rapidly growing agri-startup ecosystem, there was some discussion about that as well, which is a part of the Atal Innovation Mission, is driving innovation across the agricultural value chain by delivering technology-enabled solutions in production, post-harvest management, market access, finance, and advisory services. The food processing sector has expanded significantly over the last decade, driven by flagship initiatives such as PM Kisan Sampada, PM FME, and the PLI, Production Linked Incentive Scheme. One district, one product, cold chain infrastructure, branding, value chain development, and export should become the foundation of district-level agricultural transformation. Much of it will depend on how we implement these initiatives. Implementation is the key. And again, in the last session, someone said we have to work closely with the farmers, what we used to call extension services. Extension services are very important, and in this context, since I'm talking at the Chamber of Commerce, I think businessmen, those who deal with fertilizers, those who deal with pesticides, can make it a part of their business to do the extension. Because if you can extend the knowledge, you will increase your sale. It's in your interest to go and tell the farmers about खरीदो ये pesticide खरीदो, नहीं तो ये buy this fertilizer. Digital markets reform through ENAM, connecting nearly 1.8 crore registered farmers, 4,724 FPOs, and 1,656 mandis, are improving market access and price realization for the farmers. The national mission on natural farming aims to bring 7.5 lakh hectares in its orbit through 15,000 clusters, promoting sustainable and low input agricultural practices. Going forward, efficient water management, soil health restoration, climate resilient seed and diversified farming systems will be critical to enhance agricultural resilience, productivity, and sustainability. Niti Aayog has been at the forefront of driving evidence-based policy reforms and fostering cooperative federalism to accelerate agricultural transformation, working closely with the central government, the union government, states, academia, industry, and other stakeholders. Its initiatives span key areas such as sustainable agriculture, digital agriculture, natural farming, value chain development, agricultural marketing, climate resilience, and rural transformation, with a strong focus on innovation, technology, and data-driven policymaking. Going forward, Niti Aayog will continue to serve as a catalyst for partnership and policy innovation to build a resilient, globally competitive and future-ready agri-food system aligned with the vision of Vikasit Bharat 2047. India's aspiration is not only to remain food secure, but to emerge as the food and nutrition basket of the world. Achieving this vision requires a whole of ecosystem approach, strong partnership among researchers, startups, industries, FPOs, cooperatives, financial institutions, and farmers will be the key drivers of innovation, investment, and sustainable growth. Platforms such as Krishi Vikram play a pivotal role in fostering these partnerships and translating innovation into impact. I congratulate Indian Chamber of Commerce for successfully organizing Krishi Vikram 2026 and convey my best wishes to all the participants and the award winners for their contribution to strengthening India's agriculture and food system. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So now I would request Dr. R.G. Agarwal, Chairman Emeritus, to kindly address us. Mr. Agarwal, yeah. From the industry perspective, he will explain. Thank you.
सर्वप्रथम आप सबको प्रणाम। मैं हिंदी में बात करना ज्यादा पसंद करता हूं क्योंकि हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से हमने एक सीख ली है कि कहीं भी बोले अपनी मातृभाषा में बोलें, क्योंकि किसानों के लिए बात हो रही है खेती की। तो मैं एक सलाम किसानों को करता हूं और एक जवानों को करता हूं, क्योंकि उनकी वजह से हम यहां बैठे हैं किसानों की वजह से हमारा पेट भरा है और जवानों की वजह से हम सुरक्षित बैठे हैं, जो जियोपॉलिटिकल की बात होती है। आज दोस्तों मैंने बहुत से लोगों को सुना और उसमें जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर के इकोनॉमिक एडवाइजरी काउंसिल के श्री महेंद्र देव जी ने कुछ बातें रखी और मैं छोटी छोटी बातें करूंगा, क्योंकि सब कुछ डिपेंड करता है। अगर गाड़ी चलानी है तो 4 पहिए हैं तो चारों पहियों में बराबर हवा चाहिए। अब एम्बेसडर का जमाना गया, अब है हर नई गाड़ी का जमाना, या 15 साल एक टेलीफोन की वेट करना या गाड़ी की वेट करना, वो समय नहीं है। हम 1960 के ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन की बातें कब तक करते रहेंगे? अगर एग्रीकल्चर को नया भारत, विकसित भारत बनाने के लिए काम करना है तो हमें भविष्य के बारे में, 2047 के बारे में, तब आज से लेके प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब ने जो हमें विजन दिया है कि 2047 तक $30 ट्रिलियन की इकॉनमी, जिसमें से $6 ट्रिलियन एग्रीकल्चर से, और आज एग्रीकल्चर में हम कहां पहुंचे हैं? आज हम ग्लोबल डेवलप्ड नॉर्थ से अपने आप को कंपेयर नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन ग्लोबल साउथ से तो कंपेयर करना पड़ेगा। हम बहुत खुश हैं कि भाई हमने 375 मिलियन टन से ज्यादा पैदा कर लिया अनाज, 390 टन से ज्यादा हमने हॉर्टिकल्चर प्रोडक्ट्स कर लिए। लेकिन हमें यह देखना पड़ेगा कि हमारा पड़ोसी मुल्क चाइना, जिसकी लैंड होल्डिंग हमसे कम है, जिनका रेनफॉल हमसे 40% कम है, लेकिन उनकी ओवरऑल जीडीपी $18 ट्रिलियन, हम $4 ट्रिलियन को पहुंच रहे हैं, और एग्रीकल्चर में 1/3 हम चाइना से करीबन जीडीपी में। ये सूबे से जो बातें हुई है वो डेटा में नहीं जाता। क्या हमको ये नहीं सोचना चाहिए कि हमारी 1/3 प्रोडक्शन क्यों, या हमारे यहां यूरिया का इस्तेमाल ज्यादा क्यों, या सर ने भी नकली पेस्टिसाइड का जिक्र किया, हमारे किसान आत्महत्या करते हैं, उनकी क्रॉप फेल हो जाती है उसकी वजह से। कौन? क्राइम ब्रांच के डेटा के हिसाब से 11,000 किसान हर साल आत्महत्या करते हैं। मुझे बड़ी तकलीफ होती है ये बातें, मैं पढ़ता हूं या अखबारों में खबर आती है कि इतने किसानों ने आत्महत्या करी, बहुत तकलीफ होती है। आज हम सब बातें कर सकते हैं, लेकिन हमारे पास कोई पावर नहीं, और किसी नकली बेचने वाले को पकड़ के हम उससे हाथापाई नहीं कर सकते। ये कानून सरकार के पास है, और सरकार चाहे, लहरी साहब माफी चाहता हूं अगर मैं कोई गलत बात कर जाऊं, लेकिन कानून सरकार के पास है, और सरकार चाहे तो क्या नहीं हो सकता। इस देश में जितना असली पेस्टिसाइड बिकता है उसका तो एस्टिमेट है, नकली कितना बिकता है उसका कोई एस्टिमेट नहीं है। और उसी से आज मैं 2005 में मैंने नारा दिया था, खेत का पानी खेत में, गांव का पानी गांव में। और अमिताभ बच्चन जैसे लेजेंडरी स्टार को हमने 5 साल अपना ब्रांड एम्बेसडर रखा था, जिसमें वन ऑफ द थीम वाज, आप पानी बना तो नहीं सकते पर बचा जरूर सकते हैं। हमने कहा पौधा को पानी देना है, खेत को नहीं। आज इजराइल जैसे डेजर्ट मुल्क ने ड्रिप इरिगेशन से अपना 100% एरिया इरिगेटेड कर दिया, और सरकार की बहुत स्कीम्स हैं। आज भारत सरकार की एग्रीकल्चर की, सर ने भी बताया कितनी सारी स्कीम्स हैं, लेकिन सर इन स्कीम्स का फायदा बड़े किसान ले जाते हैं, जो 86 स्मॉल एंड मार्जिनल फार्मर्स हैं, उन तक फायदा शायद कम ही पहुंच पाता, क्योंकि वो ज्यादा पढ़े लिखे नहीं होते हैं। तो मेरा निवेदन होगा कि जितनी भी स्कीमें हैं उसके बारे में रिव्यू करना चाहिए, और ऐसी स्कीम्स बननी चाहिए जिसका फायदा सभी छोटे बड़े किसानों को मिलना चाहिए। क्या मेरी बात ठीक है कि ऐसी स्कीम होनी चाहिए सर जिसका फायदा सभी किसानों को मिलना चाहिए?
आज कानून बने हुए हैं। इंसेक्टिसाइड एक्ट में इंस्पेक्टर की ड्यूटी है साल में 2 बार फैक्ट्री को विजिट करना, 3 बार डीलर को विजिट करना और जहां सस्पिशन हो वहां सैंपल लेना। लेकिन सर 90% सैंपलिंग सिर्फ 60 कंपनियों की होती है। जो बढ़िया कंपनी है हमेशा सस्पिशन उनके पास ही होता है। तो ऐसी सैंपलिंग में टैक्स पेयर्स का पैसा वेस्ट करने के अलावा किसान का कोई भला नहीं है। तो छोटी छोटी बातें हैं सर, अगर छोटी छोटी बातों पे हम इंप्रूवमेंट कर लें। आज हम धान और गेहूं खरीदते हैं, सुबह एडवाइजर साहब ने बताया आज की धान में 30,000 रुपए का फायदा होता है पर हेक्टर और ज्वार में 9,000 का होता है, रागी में शायद नुकसान होता है। और किसी ने कहा कि हॉर्टिकल्चर से 20-30 लाख एकड़ का भी फायदा हो सकता है। बिल्कुल हो सकता है। राजस्थान का भी जिक्र आया कि भाई राजस्थान में पूरा अनार लग रहा है और उन्होंने ड्रिप इरिगेशन नई टेक्नोलॉजी इस्तेमाल करके वो एक एकड़ से 10-10, 20-20 लाख रुपए भी कमा रहे हैं। आज किसान को वो उगाना होगा जिसकी डिमांड है या जिसकी डिमांड हम इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में एक्सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं। आज जैसे मैंगो का जिक्र हुआ, आज हमारे मैंगो फटाफट अमेरिका में गए और सेम डे बिक गए। आज कितना, आज हमारा इंटरनेशनल एक्सपोर्ट मार्केट में एग्रीकल्चर प्रोड्यूस में करीबन $50 बिलियन का हम आज एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं। लेकिन पोटेंशियल है कि इसको 3 साल में हम $100 बिलियन पे ले जा सकते हैं। सिर्फ रोड ब्लॉक्स हमको हटानी है। आज स्टार्टअप्स तो बहुत बन गए लेकिन उनकी हैंड होल्डिंग करने वाला कौन है? एफपीओस तो बन गए लेकिन उनको हैंड होल्डिंग करने वाला कौन है? सॉइल टेस्टिंग रिपोर्ट, सॉइल हेल्थ कार्ड तो मिल गया लेकिन फार्मर को गाइड करने वाला कौन है कि उसको उस रिपोर्ट के बेसिस पे क्या फर्टिलाइजर यूज करना है। तो आज हम इंटीग्रेटेड पेस्टिसाइड मैनेजमेंट, इंटीग्रेटेड न्यूट्रिशन मैनेजमेंट, एक लास्ट में प्रश्न आया था क्यों नहीं इंटीग्रेटेड फार्म मैनेजमेंट की बात करें, और दैट इज द बेस्ट सॉल्यूशन। अगर हम सोइंग टू हार्वेस्ट टोटल टेक्नोलॉजी की बात करें, आज सिंगल टेक्नोलॉजी से बात नहीं होगी। फार्मर को अच्छा सॉइल हेल्थ मैनेजमेंट भी चाहिए तो अच्छा सीड भी चाहिए, सीड ट्रीटमेंट चाहिए या प्रॉपर पेस्टिसाइड, फंगीसाइड, वीडीसाइड, बायोस्टिमुलेंट चाहिए ताकि वो अपनी फसल को कंट्रोल कर सके। अभी चिल्लीज की एक्सपोर्ट की बात हो रही थी, क्वालिटी की। अभी पिछले हफ्ते न्यूज थी कि 3 कंसाइनमेंट चाइना में हमारे रिजेक्ट हो गए। कौन सा पेस्टिसाइड का रेजिड्यू? मैथोमाइडोफास, जो हमारे देश में रजिस्टर्ड भी नहीं है। लास्ट पॉइंट, 2 मिनट और देंगे सर या 1 मिनट? 1 मिनट में मैं अपनी बात समाप्त कर रहा हूं सर। ये हमारा कंसाइनमेंट चाइना में, ये दूसरे भी बहुत सारे कंसाइनमेंट रिजेक्ट होते हैं, उससे हमारी गुडविल को, देश को नुकसान होता है। वो किस वजह से नुकसान हुआ कि उसमें मैथोमाइडोफॉस का रेजिड्यू मिला और वो हमारे देश में रजिस्टर्ड भी नहीं है। जो हमारी मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर का डिपार्टमेंट CIRC है, जो हर पेस्टिसाइड को रजिस्ट्रेशन करता है, लाइसेंस करता है, उसके बाद ही वो प्रोडक्ट बन सकता है। लेकिन सर चाइना से इतना स्मगलिंग, इलीगल तरीके से माल आता है। हमारे किसान की असली प्रॉब्लम इलीगल है और टेक्नोलॉजी और मार्केट। अगर ये हम कर पाए तो हिंदुस्तान की एग्रीकल्चर को $6 ट्रिलियन बनने से कोई नहीं रोक सकता। आईसीसी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, उन्होंने मुझे बुलाया। आप सबका भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और मेरा सौभाग्य है कि लहरी जी के सामने, इतने सीनियर आदमी के सामने मुझे अपनी बात रखने का मौका मिला और मैं समझता हूं मैं फिर समय लेकर उनसे मिलूंगा और जो किसान की प्रॉब्लम, मेरा 6 डिकेड का एक्सपीरियंस है, उनसे बात करके रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि सर किसानों के लिए कुछ पॉलिसी में अच्छे चेंज करवाए। जय हिंद, जय भारत। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
I would now like to request Mr. Aditya Bagri, Co-Chairman, ICC, Agribusiness and Food Processing Committee, and Director, Bagri's India Limited, to give his vote of thanks, please. Thank you so much. A huge round of applause for Mr. Bagri, please. Thank you.
A very good afternoon, everyone. And this was perhaps one of the most energetic, engaging plenary sessions that I've been a part of. And I'd like to especially thank our guest of honor, the Honorable Vice Chairman, Niti Aayog, Dr. Lahiri ji, to take his valuable time to come and address Krishi Vikram 2.0. It's indeed an honor and a privilege to hear you, sir, and hear about all the good work that Niti Aayog's been doing. I'd like to stress upon, the few highlights that Dr. Lahiri had said, especially starting from the fact that we've been born out of famine and necessity in the eras of the 60s. He stressed on the focus on productivity and the fact that productivity needs to go up to, look at doubling farmers' income. I think continuously through our address, we've, spoken about the high fertilizer use and the fact that differential subsidies and sometimes the intent to do something good, leads to differential outcomes, and how, the government's revisiting that, which was very encouraging. I think the farmer's Aadhaar has been revolutionary in terms of passing on the benefits, and it's truly remarkable that such initiatives have been taken. To increase farmers' income, Dr. Lahiri, spoke about diversity, especially around milk and eggs as diversified ways of growth, as well as consumer-led demand. And in the previous session also, sir, I had highlighted on the fact that traditionally we speak about farm to folk, and that's always been the narrative. But the true narrative is folk to farm, to go from demand-led growth back to what agriculture needs to put in. We spoke about the high amount of wastage, and also the very intuitive understanding sir had of the use of sustainable agriculture and how transformative connecting the solar pumps has been to the grid, so that we don't end up losing on sustainability on a precious resource like water. It was very encouraging to understand the fact that there is so much happening from the government, and as a part of the food processing sector, sir, we've firsthand seen the transformation done through PLI, PMSKY, the cold chain schemes that the food processing sector has been encouraged with. And you spoke about the fact that it was a food factory. India can potentially be the food factory of the world, given the kind of approach we're taking. And the key aspect for this required is collaboration. So with this, sir, I'd like to thank you again for your time, and Mr. Agarwal, Mr. Goenka, as well as Dr. Singh, for the special plenary session before we break. And thank you again for being our guest of honor here at Krishi Vikram 2.0, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bagri. Now it's my honor to request Dr. Rajiv Singh to kindly felicitate our chief guest, Dr. Ashok Kumar Lahiri, for his time and presence. We are very, very grateful to you, sir. Thank you so much. I would also request Dr. Rajiv Singh to kindly present Dr. R.G. Agrawal with a memento, please. Thank you. So thanks so much for speaking in Hindi and for your very amazing speech. Group picture, please. There is this beautiful gift. Thank you so much, our distinguished speakers, for your time and for such a great discussion. I also have one more announcement for everybody. as you would like to know that our invitation to be here has been accepted by our Union Minister of Food Processing Industries, Government of India, Shri Chirag Paswan. He's going to be here around 2 o'clock. So I request everyone to please have your lunch and be here by 2 o'clock for the next session. Thank you so much.